Let me show you what we can do in order to improve the battery life on POCO X8 Pro and Pro Max. So first we're gonna go to settings and open battery settings over here. We can find the current mode in here, which is the first thing that I want to mention. And here we can find, for example, the battery saver and ultra battery saver, which is a certain way to instantly improve the battery life and make the battery last longer. However, the feature, the battery life, is not really used specifically to improve the battery life in general. I mean, the purpose of this feature is not exactly for that. It is more just to make sure that you can charge your phone later on. So if you are in a situation where the battery is running out and you cannot really charge the phone because there's just no way for you to do so, and you want to make sure that your phone is still alive for some time, then this is when you can use the battery saver. So you can see the remaining estimate time of the battery when we see all of these different modes. So you can see that the ultra battery saver definitely provides the most additional time possible. It is also very limiting. It turns off every feature that you have on your phone and only keeps certain very basic apps enabled. And of course here you can just read the description so you can get the idea of what it does. So it's definitely not very useful to have this option enabled all the time, because you just disable all of the fancy and cool stuff on your phone, but I think it's just worth mentioning if you want to just temporarily, for now, get more battery time. So something to not forget about. Now, another thing that is worth mentioning is the charging option, and over here we have smart charging and wired charging mode. So the wired charging mode is pretty much the fast charging option, and some people believe that fast charging can ruin your battery. So if you think so as well, then of course you can choose the standard option instead of top speed, because the top speed is the equivalent of fast charging. But of course, if you doesn't think that, if your opinion is not exactly that, then you can just of course keep the top speed enabled. However, I think that smart charging is actually a pretty good feature to use, because it adjusts the charging speed based on a couple of things, such as the battery level, temperature, and app usage, which can be actually very good to slow down the aging process. Of course, the aging process of the battery isn't something that cannot be truly removed, or you cannot really get rid of it, but still, of course, we can do a couple of things to slow it down. Now, besides that, we also have the battery protection, and it is definitely recommended to use some form of charging protection, like the battery protection option itself or intelligent charging. Now, here there are a couple of things that I have to mention, however. Of course, battery protection restricts charging to 80%, which means that if you charge your phone, you will not be able to exceed 8%, which might be very inconvenient to use for many people. So therefore you might want to actually choose intelligent charging instead, which is another option that can limit battery charging, but it works in a slightly better way, meaning that when your phone learns your charging habits and patterns, then it can decide when it is reasonable to limit charging to 80%. So this can be when you leave your phone connected to the power adapter for a very long time, for much longer than you should. So then the battery can be limited to 80%, and also the phone can try to predict when you will try to unplug the power adapter, so it can let the phone charge the battery back to 100%. So definitely worth using at least one of these options. And then also over here in additional features, you can find a couple of stuff that are worth mentioning as well. Like, for example, we can clear cache when device is locked, which can be quite a decent option to consider, to enable. We also have the 5G battery saver called endurance mode, which can be very useful to use, especially in an area where it is, generally speaking, cold throughout the year. And yeah, so definitely worth checking out. Besides that, we can also see the battery usage in here. So you can see apps that drain the battery the most. So if you notice some apps that use the battery a little bit too much, you can go into these apps in order to find battery details. And over here you might want to make some changes to the battery saver section, like for example you can close apps after 10 minutes of background activity, or you can just restrict background app usage completely. However, this can have a negative impact on the app itself. It might not run properly if it cannot completely operate in the background. So I think this option over here, close apps after 10 minutes, is the better option. And of course, we also have the battery checkup, which is a very good way to instantly improve the battery life as well. But of course, it has some drawbacks, meaning that we have to, for example, disable a couple of features in order to make sure that the battery can last longer. And over here we have, let's say, close apps to drain battery, which is of course very good. But also we have a couple of things that can be annoying to implement, like for example the automatic brightness. We have lock device after 15 seconds of inactivity, at least in my case. Don't wake screen for notifications, turn off haptic feedback, location services, and so on and so forth. So of course in your case you might see different suggestions, and you may notice that they might not really give you that much of additional time, because over here you can see that, for example, don't wake screen for notifications adds up. This is of course an estimation, but it says 5 minutes, so that is not really that much. But if you add things all together, then you will notice that it adds quite a bit of time. So definitely worth using a couple of these options. And of course, many times, or most of these options, you can find these things in display and brightness. So for example, over here you can use the dark mode, which uses less battery. We have the automatic brightness, which you can activate. We have the, let's say, the refresh rate, which is well, I know that probably not many people would prefer to use 60 Hz refresh rate, but since I'm talking about improving the battery life, it is something that I have to mention. Of course, 60 Hz is going to use less battery than 120 Hz. Even if you compare it to the default option, even if you go for a custom and choose 60 Hz, it is definitely going to be better for battery. But personally, I would not, of course, do that by myself as well. I think it's just not very fun to use a smartphone with just 60 Hz, especially if you pay for a smartphone that has 120 Hz. So of course, what is the point in that case? So yeah, you can of course stick with 120 Hz if you prefer that way, but it is just something that I have to mention. Okay, and now besides that, a couple of things that are not maybe so obvious. So for example, if you go to privacy over here, then you should be able to find usage and diagnostics. So you can go over here and you can disable this option. This will allow you to save a little bit of battery. Also, we can go to location over here, and if you choose location services, you can find Wi-Fi and Bluetooth scanning. Both of these options can be easily deactivated over here by tapping on these switchers, and they also can save the battery quite a bit. And of course, whenever you or the phone needs to use these features, then of course you will be informed about it, so you can easily re-enable it temporarily, but it is definitely better to not have these options enabled all the time. Of course, if you go to personalization over here, you can also find a couple of features that are worth turning off if you want to improve the battery life, like for example the always on display feature. There is also always on display notifications, which you can disable over here, and for example the fingerprint effect, you can just completely deactivate the animation. Although it is a very small thing, it adds up just like everything else. And for example, AI dynamic wallpaper, of course you can have a very cool animated wallpaper, but it also is going to drain more battery than a normal static wallpaper. This also includes third-party apps that allow you to use live animated or video wallpapers. So definitely an animated wallpaper is going to use more battery than a normal static wallpaper. Also, I have to mention all different connection features, like for example Wi-Fi, mobile data, Bluetooth, NFC. There's also location, of course, and so on and so forth. So I'm not saying to not use these features at all. What I'm trying to say is that whenever you do not use these connection features, like for example, if you don't have any Bluetooth device connected to your phone at a given moment, there is probably no reason for you to have Bluetooth enabled, so you can turn it off. You can do the same thing with NFC. You don't pay with your phone every second or every minute, you just do that once in a while, so NFC doesn't have to be enabled all the time, but of course you can just turn it back on whenever you have to, whenever you need to. And this can be said about anything. If you are outside of your home, you can turn off Wi-Fi and so on. I think you get the idea. So it's definitely something that you can consider doing on a regular basis. Now, if there is something else that I didn't mention that you think should have been mentioned in this video, then of course let me know in the comments. And if you're watching this video, you can check out comments in order to check if there is something more that can be done in order to improve the battery life on this phone. Also, if you need more tutorials and guides for POCO X8 Pro or Pro Max, then be sure to check out my channel. I have a bunch of tutorials for these two smartphones, so be sure to check that out. Leave a like and subscribe.